Cowboys travel to play the Eagles. Perhaps just as important as a win for the Cowboys is their offense getting back on track. Here's head coach Mike McCarthy talking about what his offense has to be better at.
Numbers are important, but really, my goal all along has been for this team to be a complementary football team, and I think when you do have a commitment, sometimes doesn't always equate to the best numbers. Trust me, we want to be better in every situation. We're always working towards that. Whether it's red zone, third down, and so forth.
Swagoo, this, of course, hits close to home for you. You heard Mike McCarthy. What more do you need to see out of this Dallas offense on Saturday night?
Guys, listen. Dak Prescott didn't play that bad against the Arizona Cardinals. He was 220 plus 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah.
So Dak wasn't the issue. The issue is Kellen Moore. And they have to get back to making some explosive plays on the ground. That is where this team was really dominating people. I know we get enamored with the pass, but take a look at this. And this is something Dan has pointed out with the loss to Blake Jarwin. But you can sub an offensive line. They find New England. They get them weak. And they get Zeke with all of these hats on the hats, these one-on-one blocks to make an explosive run. You know what that does to a defense? Puts doubt in their mind. We might need to bring a guy in the box. Then you get motion, you get information. Connor McGovern in the backfield, you bring in extra beat. You hit him again right in the heart of the defense because you have set that up with motion, and that's another explosive play. And I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the damn face.
Get blue.
Pollard touches when this postseason happens, I am going to be sick because he is dynamic on the edges. He's dynamic when you get the ball in his hands quick. And we could talk about Dak Prescott throwing for 500 yards a game, 16 touchdowns, and Amari Cooper need to do this and do that. If they don't get back to what I just showed the whole damn world, they will not have success in the playoffs. So
playoffs?
I told you, Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy, I hope you're watching NFL Live. I know you do. Don't try to act like you don't. You better get back to doing some of this in order to get Dak to where he was the first 6 weeks of the season.
If I'm not mistaken, McCarthy watches every single day.
Y'all go ahead.
Okay, I think McCarthy does watch daily from his Cowboys office. Mina, let's talk about the Cowboys and how much we should see out of Dak Prescott on Saturday night. We have a couple of COVID issues that are going to keep some of their key players off the field. Smith, out. Mike Parsons, they're all everything, rookie linebacker. He's likely out. Dak has battled through injuries this year. Should we see much of him on Saturday night, or should Saturday night basically be like the final preseason game for the Cowboys, just being played in January?
Night at the movie.
Yeah, so first, if Mike McCarthy is watching, I'm sorry for everything I've said about your game management. Well, I'm not sorry, because I meant it, but I didn't mean it personally. I also think if you're watching, listen up. You don't need to play Dak more than a little bit, frankly, given all the injuries and the lack of ramifications for this game. I understand that you want to see this offense get back on track. The connection with Amari Cooper is something we've highlighted, the lack of rapport there, the sort of lack of flow generally, but it doesn't matter because Dak playing behind, a banged-up offensive line, that is more important to me than establishing a rhythm and should take precedent over getting him more reps.
Yes, Lord.
Listen,
yes, Lord.
If I'm Mike McCarthy and I'm Kellen Moore, right now I'm looking for Shane Falco, right? I'm going to whatever dock he's working on his truck at, and I want the quarterback from the replacements. I need Keanu Reeves, and if you got to go get Faison Love to block for him, you get him too. You already have so many people that will not be available for this game, so many stars that will not be playing. Why would you play Dak Prescott? What is there that you will learn, right? All you can do is have him go out there, play bad, or get hurt and just make things worse on yourself. And Mina is upset, or Mina is sad, or Mina is apologizing for talking about Mike McCarthy. I am not. Mike McCarthy got to do better. Mike McCarthy needs to be a better Mike McCarthy if this team is going to win in the playoffs. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He is the worst coach on the Dallas Cowboys staff. What he needs to work on, no matter who is playing this game, is time management, understanding situational football, and preparing his team for that. Dak Prescott need to be standing by him, talking about that too. Do not put that boy on the field.
Hell yeah, RC. Mike McCarthy, Jenny McCarthy, it ain't funny. Okay?
Jenny McCarthy.
And don't get this man hurt. like Mina said,
Oh my
2
God.
possessions and get him the hell out of there. I do not care. Listen, this is the fan coming out of me. I do not care if we win this game. We in the playoffs. I do not care.
Why are you so
one
emotional?
bit. Get healthy. Get these
You have
dudes
not been
ready.
this hype all show.
I tell you
What
what,
is wrong with
you
you?
can say
Because the
what,
playoffs
you
are
can
here,
say
RC.
whatever you want.
The playoffs are here. Don't hurt my quarterback.
You
Don't
can
do
say
it.
whatever you want about
Playoffs ain't
NFL
going, so
Live, but it's nothing if not
You kidding me?
unpredictable. Great stuff.
Playoffs?
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this is not working. And speaking of the ladies, the first one I saw was Angelica Baron. What's up, Angelica? And Angelica, Michael has been missing in action. He swears he'll be back on Monday. I'll make sure your shot glass, as well as I've got some orders that are building up here. I don't know how to do the ship. I just don't know how to do the shipping. Michael will get back and handle that, so we'll get that to you. And then I see Mary Lon Washington. What's up, Mary Lon? How are you doing? Go on through here and see who else we've got. Alicia Morgan. What's up, Alicia? Can't forget Roland's Review. What's up? And sadly, they call me Mr. Tibbs. Moment of silence for Sidney Poitier. A lot of you have no clue about the greatness of Sidney Poitier. Lived a long, great life, incredible actor, and will truly be missed. Seems like on a daily basis we find out about people that have been influential in all of our lives that are gone, so rest in peace. So, everybody, how y'all doing tonight? I'm bewildered. This has been Cowboys D-Tex DB. What's up? How are you doing? Crooked Club made it here. Shout out to you, buddy. How are you doing? Sugar Daddy. Oh, snap. Wait. Is he here early? What the hell's going on? Are you here early? What the hell? What the hell? John G. Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to change locations here. This is actually weird because it's been freaking me out. John, you got to unmute your mic, John. John G, you got to unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. There you go. Okay. So John, I want you to see something here. Okay. You see my camera, right?
Yes, sir. I can see your seat. I see the seat.
Right. You see the seat. Look at the door, the French door.
Okay.
Doesn't it look like there's somebody outside the door?
Yeah, it definitely does. Looks like it's you outside.
It's my reflection, and I keep like, what the hell? I keep looking at the window because is there a ghost? I see people. I see people. I need to change my location to the other spot so that way you can actually see me. Hold up, everybody. We got my man John G in the house, and I need to switch. I gotta switch. Okay, just be cool. Just be cool for 1 second here, okay? And hang on. Boom. Okay.
Broke ass media, baby.
Broke-ass
At its
media in
finest.
full effect here. Okay. And I need to get my sound box here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
All right. Whew, Nelly. Okay. Brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right, now let me flip screens in here. Okay, everybody, I know I'm... hold on, I got to get my mouse. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get you up on the screen. How are you doing tonight, John?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good, man. We got a game. It's actually, game eve. It's game tomorrow. So I'm very excited for some football on the Saturday night. I don't know about you, even though it's not gonna be a lot of people playing in the game, but I'm very excited, man.
Well, so you did a video. Responding to me going off. And, I kind of went off on the whole thing of Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb going out. Shout out to Sheila Neal. What's up, Sheila? And Gina Thorne. What's up, Gina? How you doing? I went off about Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb out in public, at the Mavs game, and knowing that they're Dallas Cowboy players that, when you get a chance to see a Dallas Cowboy player, you're like, oh my God, they're a rock star. So I know people are going to be coming up all over. And I know actually, technically, Amari Cooper is now in that 90-day window because, he had COVID a few weeks ago. But we're finding out people that have had COVID are getting it again. People that have been vaccinated have been getting it again. Here's the number one argument that I have for you right now. I started thinking about this, and I said, I can't wait to talk to John. I said, I want you to think about Micah Parsons right now.
Uh-huh.
Right? Micah Parsons, and I call him Baby LT. 1.5 sacks away from the rookie record.
Man.
Think about this, because, see, he will never get the chance. Never get that chance again to beat that record, right?
Yeah.
So was whatever he was doing, was that worth not being able to be immortalized? Because, in the grand scheme of things, that record isn't the be-all. It's the Super Bowl. But I'm just kind of pointing that out, that what if somebody gets COVID and can't play in the playoffs and we lose because we don't have that player?
I think that's the bigger picture thing for me, because for me, I look at it like this. I don't think he needs any more extra motivation on top of what he's already doing. But this week gives him an opportunity right now to where it's like, hey, I almost blew it. Now, this might be something that helps him refocus or helps the team refocus and get retooled for the playoff. Because quite frankly, we talked about it against the Cardinals. We felt like there wasn't as much urgency from the players. Mm-hmm. Maybe they need something to kick them in the ass and let them know that, hey, you guys are good, but you're not as good as you think you are. And any little thing can come up and can grab you, and this could all be over.
Amen. And that's the thing about it. You always, and here's the thing, when you're young, you always say, oh, I got plenty of time. You don't worry about nothing. I'm invincible. Nothing can hurt me. But that's not the case. When you start getting to be like Zeke Elliott's age, when you start getting to be, with the wear and tear and the amount of miles, you got to look at it and say, is Zeke the same guy that should be getting paid what he's getting paid? Now, you can see the difference. Remember when we were sitting here and Tony Pollard gave up that sack, and I was like, well, that's one of the reasons why you have Zeke out there, because Tony Pollard can't block like Zeke, but you can't pay a guy that kind of money to be just a blocker for your quarterback.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
You sit here and think, like for a guy like D-Law, how many more opportunities is he going to have with the Cowboys to try and get that ring? How many more opportunities is Tyron Smith going to get?
Probably this year.
Right. So, Dak said it before New Year's Eve. And we're going to talk to the young guys about, going out and things with New Year's and stuff, not to do anything stupid. Well, just going out is kind of stupid right now with the way the numbers are going crazy with COVID. Sheila Neal. What's up, Sheila? How you doing? Sarah Green. What's up, Sarah Green? How you doing? So we've got this game tomorrow. What are your thoughts on it? Does it matter?
I think it matters. In my opinion, it matters, even though we don't have certain guys playing, because I think that it's a way to get the guys that are going to be role players ready. Sure, Mike is going to be out. Sure, Trayvon Diggs is going to be out. Sure, Tyron Smith is going to be out. Outside of Micah Parsons, those are guys that we know what they can do. But the playoffs are made of unsung heroes. David Tyree with the catch, even though he's a damn giant, or Nick Foles stepping in and saving the Eagles. And I know that those are NFC East situations, but those big games make those type of players. When I just think about last year, think about Tampa. Really, Tom Brady gets a lot of that success, but that defensive line had to come to life. Tampa Bay had to play every week. Remember that. They had to play on the road.
Right, because they were a wild card.
Exactly. So
what's up, Miss Gibson? David Wiley with the super chat. What's up, David?
My guy, David. Yeah. So I also think about one thing I had to dig in the crate for, and I know that it's the Giants guys. Don't kill me, but I think about that undefeated season for the Patriots that was ruined by the Giants. Remember, week 17. Man.
Yeah.
Week 17, they were playing all 4 quarters, and then that ended up being the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, because they played against New England, and if I remember, it was either that one or the year before. I mean, the Super Bowl before. The crazy thing about that season was they had so many games that they could have lost. And I think about this one game they had against the Cardinals because it was a mistake by the referees. The receiver, it's a 2-minute drill. They need to get a score, and they threw a pass, completion. The guy sits on the field. He was never touched. But they're trying to hurry up to run the clock.
Oh, yeah, they called it a fumble.
No, they didn't call it anything. It should have been a fumble because the other guy got it. They ended up resetting the clock. The play goes off. Had they called that, they lose that game. They don't have enough wins to go into the wild card. They don't go on to end up beating them. Okay. And that's where it was one of those crazy things where, people will say, oh, well, you got lucky to win or you should. Well, you know what? That whole season was full of times that they could have lost, and just one of those losses would have been bad. The thing that's kind of crazy to me is I almost feel like everybody feels like the Eagles are actually a better team than we are right now.
They're in the worst situation than we are.
Well, but think about this now, because everybody keeps talking, oh, that running game of the Eagles, since such and such, they've been doing, all these great things. And then they talk about the Cowboys. The Cowboys, inconsistency with the offense. They're going to be one and done. They're terrible. And I'm just like, it wasn't pretty, but aren't we 4-1 in the last 5 games?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of those games we ended up, those were pretty much blowouts. I mean, even the Washington game when they came back, that was a blowout. We've blown out teams like the Eagles. But we're talking about inconsistency, right?
So, as they keep talking about, but I swear it seems like, and when you even listen to Cowboy fans right now, you would think, oh my God, man, the Eagles, man, the Hurts in that offense, the way they're running the football, man, they're doing great things, and we should.
Everybody thinks offense means that you're playing well. That's what Tampa Bay was a top 10 scoring and defensive team last year.
Yeah.
Especially when it came to the red zone. Defense and running the football is what matters at this point. Or, mitigating mistakes, not making a lot of mistakes and capitalizing on other people's mistakes. I think we played well. Even though the offense hasn't been what we thought they are, I think collectively as a team, doesn't special teams count? I mean, I know we missed field goals last week, but we've done good on kick coverage.
Yeah.
We've done well blocking punts.
Well, we've had great offenses quite a few times in the last 25 years, and we don't have anything to show for it because we haven't had the special teams and the defense to go with it. But back to the Eagles here real quick, because I keep, like I said, everybody keeps on the Eagles bandwagons that they're playing great, and they got, and I'm not, win is a win in the NFL. Let's be clear. But last weekend it was Washington, 20-16. Okay. The week before it was the Giants, 34-10. The week before that it was 27-17 against the Washington COVIDs because they had 22 players out. The week before that, it was the Jets, 33-18. The week before that, it was the Giants, and they lost to the Giants, 13-17. I'm sorry, 13-7. So, is this a good? I'm serious. Is this a good team? That's since Thanksgiving. Since Thanksgiving, you beat the Jets, Washington twice. Half of Washington was out one time, and the Giants. You parade rest. You lost and you tied to them. That's a great team.
None of the teams that you named can score any points. Now, mind you, I'm not going to say that our offense has been doing a whole bunch, but we still score points. It's just that we're not blowing the doors off offensively. But we still can score 30, and it looked like the offense struggled.
Right. Okay.
You know,
I'm just
score for turnover.
I'm just mystified because we won all 4 games in December. I know that we played some of the same, as teams that they did and stuff, but I just feel this arrogance from the Eagles and from the talking heads about the Eagles and their running game and everything else. But I'm just like, I don't see it. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. I mean, and that's not me being biased. Because to be honest, throughout the whole course, and that's not just their fault though, because I don't see a whole lot of teams playing good football right now. I don't think Green Bay's playing good football right now, but nobody wants to talk about it. Arizona just got a win against us, but up until playing us, they were playing pretty crappy football. Who else is another? The Rams are up and down.
Well, the problem the Rams have is Matthew Stafford and the interceptions. If he does those pick sixes and all the turnover he's doing, they're going to be short-lived as well. Tampa Bay now, for minus the whole AB situation, you got to look at them and say they've lost a lot of their offensive weapons now.
Yeah, because they don't have Chris Godwin.
They don't have Chris Godwin, right. And Evans has been nicked up as well, in there. And now you lost Antonio Brown, although you hear him more now than ever after the whole fiasco last week. But they're hurting. Green Bay, of course, you're hearing rumors that Aaron Rodgers might boycott the Super Bowl if they don't change the COVID rules. So it's like, what the hell? It's just crazy out here. And when the playoff starts, anything can happen. Hell, it wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles ended up winning a game in the playoffs. I just wouldn't.
We've seen. The team that they won the Super Bowl. Really, we weren't expecting them to go on the run. I remember coming to your house. That was some of the first time I'd ever came to your house, and we watched them beat the Falcons, and we didn't expect them to win that game.
Yeah, all
they did was check down and play defense. Throw check downs and play defense. That's all they did. So I think that we're very capable of doing those type of things and making a run. I think we will make a run. I'm gonna guarantee it on your channel right now. I think we're gonna make a run. Not I think, but I know we're gonna make a run.
What's up, Gina C? How you doing, Gina? I hope we do, because yesterday I was so disgusted after I heard Tyron Smith and Donovan Wilson is ill and that Diggs is ill, and I'm just like, we got to get a hold of this thing. I'm not so worried about the ones that have gotten it now, because you got 5 days they can practice next week. I'm worried about it rolling through the whole roster, and then all of a sudden come next week we have a whole lot of guys that can't practice and can't play in the game. That's the scary part. And if anything, these guys should be looking at it and saying, here's a way we can get an advantage in the playoffs by making sure we're COVID free.
Yeah, absolutely. And I came up with my solution on my video yesterday, and I know that a lot of people liked it, and there were some people that didn't really. But I think that the team should find a way to really isolate themselves. I really think that's probably your best answer in order for things to move forward. If you're really serious about this thing,
I agree. And see, the thing is, the Cowboys are better suited than anybody. I mean, you know what Ashburn is like over there for the Washington the Washington football team. It's just their old field. There's nothing really around it and stuff. The Cowboys have that world-class practice facilities. They got the Omni right there and everything else. They could literally just say, hey, look, guys, we're going to be in a bubble for 36 days.
Yeah,
36 days.
They could.
Listen. And because we're going to be looking, just like I said about like Micah Parsons, you'll never get that chance to break that rookie record again. You never will. And here it is. We're on the cusp of maybe having 12-win season. You got a good defense. You got decent special teams, minus some kicking from time to time. You've got a good offense. You've got questions everywhere across the board on all these teams. Green Bay's got some defensive problems. Like I said, Tampa Bay has offensive player problems. The Rams have a Matthew Stafford problem. You have as good a chance as anybody else if you can stay healthy and stay on the field.
Exactly. San Francisco, they're another team that's in the playoffs, and when it looks like they were playing consistent football, then they had a letdown. So it's anybody's game at this point, man. It's anybody's game. So I don't think anybody should be. I mean, maybe be discouraged by some of the COVID news that we've been hearing, but I really think, man, and that's why I say this game matters tomorrow, because Mike McCarthy. I don't think Mike McCarthy wants to go out there and just coast. I think he wants to win the game, because we've been hearing all of the headlines here and there, this and that. And, I think the guys are going to go out there and play hard. You can't tell a guy like Kelvin Joseph, who is this going to be his first NFL start?
No, I think it's the second. Didn't he start?
He might have started.
I think he started a couple weeks ago for when Lewis was out. I think it was.
Well, see, that guy right there, I think Kelvin Joseph could be an unsung hero for us in the playoffs, and he'll be playing tomorrow.
The game he played and started, you looked at that and said he deserves to have more playing time. Fans have been calling for Anthony Brown to be replaced. He's the guy to replace him. Wade the Fourth Crusade. Mark, I've been saying this for 26 years. Can't guarantee anything. We should know better. Shout out to Wade. Is that my buddy Wade that I talked to on the phone yesterday? If it is, what's up, Wade? Yeah, there's nothing guaranteed. But also, too, Nashawn Wright will be another one that'll get to play, too.
Agreed, yeah.
So you're going to get those guys both out there. And hopefully it's kind of a tune-up and a practice. It will be cold. I see Dave says he's going to be going to the game. As you know how it is up here, which is, about 3 hours north from where we are. It's cold. It didn't get above 30 today. I think it's going to be in the 20s, about 24, 25 degrees tomorrow night. So it will be a cold game, and maybe a preview of if you got to get a Lambeau Field in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, or also it's another preview too, because if they, because I really believe Philly's a diet version of Arizona. I mean, at this point, you got to believe that we're going to be preparing for Arizona. I mean,
here's some interesting news too that just came across earlier this evening, that J.J. Watt is actually in the window now, and could return for playoffs. And I think Hopkins. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're not. I think both of them will probably be back for the playoffs. So it's a good chance that we face both of them. Good chance.
Right. So that's going to make them a little bit stronger. Hopefully the Cowboys will be, better suited. I still look at this and say that it still seems like we've been doing a lot more vanilla play calling. And I don't know if that's by design, that we're just trying to save it for the playoffs or what, but it seems like we didn't do as much motion the last, 4 or 5 weeks or so. We didn't seem to be doing a lot of pulling with the offensive line.
I honestly thought we showed more against Washington than we did Arizona, which was a little weird to me, because I would have thought, because in my opinion, I thought Arizona was a bigger game. I thought that it could have bought you 2 home field games instead of 1, and maybe you knocked Arizona back a slot or something like that. I just thought that we would have done a lot more offensively. So I agree with you about the vanilla play calling and stuff like that. I just don't know why you would do it.
Again, lull everybody to sleep. Think, we got nothing to worry about. This is choke season for the Cowboys, like all the Eagle fans over here saying.
With number 1 still on the board, though, I just don't. I just don't know if it makes sense in my eyes to try and, hey, let's vanilla this thing up, and if we win, we win. But if we don't, then we're saving stuff. Because if you save stuff,
I'm just trying to find. I'm reaching. We them boys. You going to the playoff game in Dallas? Nice, buddy. It's been a long, long day. I'm sorry. I just can't. Once they get started, I just can't stop the yawns. Been out there working in the shop like crazy, like a madman and stuff, and did not sleep at all last night. In fact, haven't been sleeping for a while, worrying about this game. And it's funny because I have not heard from too many Eagle fans, and even Philly 500. You know, they're kind of laying low. I think they've come to the thought of that they're just going to lose this game tomorrow, and that this doesn't matter.
I heard from Philadelphia a couple of days ago, so he's still out there somewhere. I'm surprised he's not in the chat talking trash because that guy came from the dead. I'm almost starting to believe Philadelphia has another account, and then he just kind of pops up whenever the Eagles start winning.
Big Diaz 83 says, "Mark, you lazy bastard." What's up, Aisha Robinson? How you doing tonight? Mike hacked me. Mike hacked you. What do you mean he hacked you, Gina? Philadelphia trash. Yeah, they are trash. Well, the thing I hope for more than anything else is we get out healthy. We can't afford to get anybody hurt. And maybe in some regards, you know, after going through my rant yesterday, I started thinking, well, having Tyron Smith resting is not a bad thing. Having Tony Pollard didn't make the trip. Maybe that foot will be, let that heal a little bit more for next week. Getting, like you said, getting some extra work for Nahshon Wright and for Kevin Joseph, that can't hurt any. So I'm going to try and take the we'll be okay approach. And if we do go up there and we lay an egg and just look like crap, do we take anything away from that?
I don't know. Like for me, I always like going into the playoffs with your best foot forward. So it could be a cause of concern. I mean, and there definitely will be storylines like, hey, well, these guys were out partying and they got COVID and they lost the last 2 games, and you're gonna have to hear that, and that's gonna be a distraction for a whole week. So I would rather get out of there with the W, even with the makeshift team. I still think it's a good enough team to beat Philadelphia. I do.
Well, my biggest Carolina Cowboy and Alan Williams, shout out to you. My biggest worry has been the running game. Our running game has literally disappeared. And, people go back to the whole thing. Well, Dak's got to have it. If he was a franchise quarterback, he wouldn't need anybody to run. And, you still have to have some semblance.
That's just not true. It's just not true. Peyton Manning won 2 Super Bowls like that. He didn't play well in the Super Bowl, and he might not have played well. He might not have played well going up into. I know that Denver playoffs. He wasn't really that. He didn't play that well. They played pretty good defense. They didn't mess up very much. Tampa Bay, they had to be able to run the football last year. Leonard Fournette. You got to be able to run when you need to be able to run. I think that this is what I'm more so looking for, Mark. I'm looking for us to try and establish the run this week because we have no choice, because we're trying to get out of there healthy. We're trying to get out of there with little or no mistakes. It's a cold game. So I think that, like you said, we have to we got to find a way to, Green Bay. Like if we're gonna act like it's Green Bay, then we go to Green Bay. We need to be able to run the damn ball.
Yeah,
you
got
to. We got to figure it out. Concepts. This is our chance to work on things to get the run game going.
Right, I agree with you on that 100%. But let me look at this real quick because I want to see how bad has the running been.
It's been putrid since about week 7. Somebody tried to give me a history lesson on it earlier this week.
Let me see. Passing. Why is this? Okay, let's see.
And while you're looking for it, I think my biggest issue with the run game.
We ran 45 yards last week. Now, we did get 108 against Washington. We got 125 the week before, 122, 146.
That's not bad.
Okay. I know one of the so against the Raiders we only got 64. Against Kansas City we got 82. Against Denver 78. Minnesota 78. But you looked at all these other games. I mean, again, we did win against New Orleans. We got 146, which is great. Washington.
That's a good defense too.
Yeah,
New Orleans is
New Orleans
defense.
a great defense. If they had a quarterback, they'd be in the playoffs. Washington, we did 122. The Giants, we did 125. The Cardinals, 45. And you can look at it, and almost every game we lost. Let's see, what did we do against Tampa Bay? 60 yards. 60 yards is what we got running the football against Tampa Bay. Loss. Denver, 78 yards. Loss. Kansas City, 82 yards. Loss. Raiders, 64 yards. Loss. So every game that we have not rushed for 100 yards, we've lost. So we have got to get the running game going.
Well, we beat Minnesota. Didn't we go under 100?
We did. That's the only one that we've had under 100 yards that we won.
With Cooper Rush.
Oh, don't say it, because now we'll have. Oh, see, we need to start Cooper Rush because he don't need no running game. That's what they'll start saying. You know that's how they roll.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we watched that game. I mean, it was a good team win. Mm-hmm. I just think we just have to play team football. We can't lean on one more than the other, but if one side is kind of dictating things, then we play to that. The defense is playing well. Don't put them in effed up situations.
Yeah.
With bad field position, or turning the ball over or going for it on fourth down when you shouldn't be going for it on fourth down.
Aisha, I got your super chat. I put it in the thing. I saw you say that you had that one of the shot glasses were broken, so I'll get you another one out there. I had a thought.
In the Minnesota game, we played well field position. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
We won.
There's perception and then there's reality. The perception is the Dallas Cowboys have a great offensive line. I don't think we do. We've had 52 penalties on this offensive line. And we have had so many different lineups.
Yeah.
And shifts that there is no consistency. From the time Travis Frederick ended up having the Hillian-Barr syndrome, this offensive line has really just gone bad. Connor Williams has been okay at times, but Connor Williams isn't, I think, everything that we thought he was going to be when we drafted him. Zach Martin, of course, has always been great. Tyron Smith, when he's healthy, and he hasn't been healthy except the first 7 games, really. He's played some games, but he's still not back to being the same Tyron Smith. I got to say, La'el Collins, I don't know that La'el Collins is an elite offensive lineman anymore. Your thoughts?
To be honest with you, Mark, this is something I've been saying for quite some time. Everybody keeps talking about how great our line is, and sure, we have some names. We have some perennial Pro Bowlers and some perennial All-Pro guys, but as a unit, we haven't really been a solid unit since about 2017, in my opinion. Yeah,
2016 was probably the end of the peak. 2014, 2015, 2016, that offensive line was rocking and rolling. But there has been too much. I mean, last year, not anywhere close. That was a mess. This year, between Connor Williams and all the penalties and then going to Connor McGovern, who can't get to second level, Tyler Badish is sometimes he gets too high when he's got guys like a Vita Vea or a Ndamukong Suh. When he's got those big physical guys, he gets up high and plays the chess games and gets rocked back into the quarterback's lap. And I'm glad you got it, Miss Q. I'm glad you got it, Miss Gibson. And so I look at our offensive line, because herein lies part of the problem too. They'll say, well, Zeke's lost it, but I don't know who's going to be able to run without any holes that are there. The holes just aren't really there.
They aren't. And if you look at it, Tony Pollard, in the time that he breaks, like up until that, he's not really, those are spectacular runs for the most part that he's making.
When he's got a lane.
Yeah, exactly. But when he doesn't, I mean, you get 3 for 9 like we did the last game,
Right.
which is a lot of the time. A lot of people don't want to admit that, but that's a lot of the time. And, you know, to your point about the peak being about 2016, I say the last good year was about 2017. I think it's further removed away from Bill Callahan. And what Bill Callahan did when he had the offensive line was he developed the young guys. I don't think that the young guys are getting as developed as well as they were. And so, yeah, Zach Martin was a product of that. Tyron Smith was a product of that. Lyle Collins somewhat, but he didn't really get all of it, you know. And then the other guys, not at all. So I think
I still like. I'm gonna be, this is me, and I'm gonna be I'm gonna be told I'm crazy, but I think actually Terrence Steele has been playing actually pretty good football.
He's been playing well.
When he was just playing right tackle. That's when our offensive line, those first 7 weeks and stuff before Lyle Collins, and then once Tyron Smith went out and then they shifted him to the left side, I think that screwed him up because most people say, oh, you're an offensive lineman. It's, it doesn't matter. Just play on the offense. And it's like, it's bullshit. It's like writing with your right hand and then turning around and trying to write with your left hand. Because everything is now reversed. You're used to leaning on the left. You're used to taking that first step with the left foot if you're on that left side. It's reversed on the right, and it's not the same. There are guys that can do it that are ambidextrous, but you had a guy who still basically it's the second year just getting comfortable, and it's now like, okay, we're going to feed you the Lions on the left-hand side. And in other games since Tyron Smith's gone out, he's gotten better and more comfortable with it. But now when Tyron Smith is back, he's on the sidelines, and I don't think that actually Lyle Collins is better than him anymore.
I don't either. I hate to say it, but the best offensive line that we had this year was Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Biotish, Zach Martin, and Steele on the right side.
I'm telling you,
that was the best line. That was the best line.
And that's when we were actually being able to run the ball. We run the ball on first down more than anybody else, and we were successful with it. And now we got Tyron Smith back and Lyle Collins there, and it's just like last week, some of that was the games that Arizona was playing because that play we talked about that Tony Pollard gave up the sack. Arizona came in with the linebackers, like in the A-gaps, like they were going to blitz.
Yeah.
They ended up retreating, and so the rush came from the outside. So it was only a 4-man rush, but all the offensive linemen were stuck in the middle. And it ended up being basically Budda Baker with Tony Pollard one-on-one, and Budda Baker ended up just spanking Tony Pollard and going on to get the sack. So it wasn't a matter of, they had the numbers on the blitz. It was just basically they just missed what was going on.
And maybe that's the inexperience of Kellen Moore being an offensive coordinator because, when I think about it, and I hate to say, I mean, when I go back to Linehan and I go back to Callahan, those guys were experienced. Those guys were experienced with offense and all of the areas that came with it. Callahan was a former head coach, offensive guru for the Raiders, and then Linehan had so much experience. Kellen Moore, where's his experience really come from?
Right. A.S. Tompkins, you can fix the line by moving Lyle Collins to guard, and then you can run on each side of the line. Need a strong inside.
Is he? I think he's too far removed from playing guard.
Yeah,
no all season.
I honestly don't think that he is that good anymore. I love Lyle Collins. I've met Lyle Collins, talked to him, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet and everything else. But after the hip injury last year, I just don't think that he is – he's just not the same as he was. When he was a rookie, that year when he was playing guard, he was going down there and he was leveling two people out. But now I'm seeing him getting pushed back into the quarterback's lap, as well. And see, this is where last week, in running back through my mind, you think about those 4 batted down passes, and a couple of things I think are going on. One, I think Dak realizes that the leg is still not 100% where he's got that speed on there. And in my mind, for some reason, I keep feeling like he's going to get more work done on that leg, or that leg still has some more healing to do. You know, when you have a traumatic injury, it takes you a good year or more to really heal. And when you're playing football, you don't really heal, okay? You're just kind of surviving. So I'm thinking that Dak's realizing I don't have the escapability that I used to have. So I've got to make a play with this football. And you started seeing the offensive line, literally, it felt like they were on roller skates because they're just rolling right back. Dak knows I can't get out of here. I'm trying to get the ball over top of it. It's getting batted down. I can't run the ball because these guys can't, you know, they're run blitzing, and we're not getting any yardage on that. So it's almost like the Tony Romo syndrome where Tony Romo was either we were going to win with his arm or we're going to lose with his arm, and that was it.
I just think we got out. I think we got out schemed, and I think that we got out urgency. I think we just got out hustled all from the top down.
Yeah,
that's what I think happened. You know, sure, those certain things happen, but then eventually we got going. You know what I'm saying? They found a way. We made adjustments in the passing game. We did little things, and but we don't do that with the run game. Well, I think that's more of the issue. You know, because we did get a couple balls batted down. We did. But once we got going, Mark, we got going.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We did not play well. This is the thing people seem to miss. We did not play well in that game. To give up that fake punt, to miss a field goal, to have 4 passes batted down, to not be able to run the football, that fumble, that fumble that should have been going to the Cowboys, you still had a chance to win with all of that going against you.
Yeah, and also remember Dak had a fumble too. That, you know, that was probably that kind of changed some momentum back the other way. And the defense held them to 3, and then we go down and we scored. You know,
shout out to Asa Robinson on that super chat. Sidney Poitier, rest in peace.
Yeah, so we did not play well from the top down. It just was not a very good day for us. But we have an opportunity to right that wrong. And I think we will, man. I really do. I haven't lost any confidence in this team. I think sometimes you need to get your ass whooped to know where you are and to have some perspective and to have some gratitude and then to move forward.
So are you saying we're getting a win tomorrow?
Yeah, we're getting a win tomorrow. We'll get a win the next week too. You heard it here. Because remember this. Whenever we've lost a game, I want to say a couple times this year, if we've lost a game, we've reeled off a couple. We've reeled off a lot of wins in a row. After losing to Tampa, we won 6 in a row.
We have been. That's a great point because we ended up losing to Tampa, 6-game win streak. We end up just having that 4-game win streak. We lose to the Cardinals. So great point.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see if we can do another 4-game win streak.
That's what we need. You know, that's all we need, right? We need another one of those streaks. And sometimes that's what Super Bowl teams do. You know, so.
Actually, Tony, here's the thing. Tony Douglas, because he's like, how Greg Zuerlein still has a job is beyond me. Yes, he's missed 5 kicks. They've got the narrative that 14 points have been left on the board in 3 games that we've lost by 8 points, which is true. But if you actually look at the numbers, 3 of the kicks were 50-plus. 3 of the kicks are 50-yarders or plus. He's missed 1 in the 40-yard range and 1 in the 30-yard range. So is it as bad as it sounds? Now, the extra points, those are inexcusable.
I think you have to address it in the offseason. But I will tell you that I never felt like Greg really hurt us up until last game. I thought that was really the first game where the kick, like he missed the kick and it came back to haunt us. The other game.
Well, no. Tampa Bay, he made that kick. It would have went to overtime because he missed that one too. And but again, I'm just saying, if it's a 50-yarder plus field goal, do you expect it to be automatic every time?
No, that's a low percentage kick.
So if you take those out of the way, then he's missed 2 kicks, 40 and below 50.
But I also argue in the Tampa game, we had a lot more going on than just him missing the kick. You know. I mean, and that we really didn't know what type of team we would be at that point either. I think if we catch that Tampa team in the middle of the year, we whoop their ass. So, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, if you look at all the big kicks he's made too, he's made a lot more big kicks than he's missed.
Right. And he did, to his, he was injured. He was on the PUP list throughout all training camp. And the first action he had was like the week going into Tampa Bay. But, and for everybody always says, oh, well, get rid of this guy. Okay. But the thing is do you think there's any good kickers that are just waiting for you to call him? I mean, there aren't.
He's had a better year than Mason Crosby. Mason Crosby hasn't had a good year at all.
I will say, actually, this year, I've seen more missed kicks this year than I ever remember seeing. Maybe I'm just more sensitive to it. But it seems like there's been a lot of extra points and field goal tries that have just got ugly. Fathers, teach your kids to be kickers, okay?
Yeah. And, I know that a lot of people didn't like the moving the extra point back to 15 yards, but I think that it's added to the game, honestly, because it makes kicks more like when the guy's kicking it matters more. So if they do miss, I mean, it's a momentum swing. I think it's a good thing for the game. Kickers just got to make kicks.
Now, here's the thing that, I'm old. And when you're old, you worry about shit that you didn't when you were young. Like I said, you start worrying about your own mortality. You don't take as many risks. And maybe that was part of the problem we had with Rod Martinelli. Rod Martinelli was bend, don't break. We're not risking. We're not getting aggressive. We're going to kick back and we're going to wait for them to make a mistake because he's an old guy.
Yeah.
Whereas you see Dan Quinn, he's risking. He has no problem risking plays and things like that, and I like that. But this year, it's like it's cool to go for it on fourth down anywhere and everywhere.
Everybody's doing it, though. Everybody's doing it. It's not just – I think the analytics have just become a part of the game a lot more than it had been. And
it drives me crazy because sometimes it's like, you know what, just take the field goal. Just take the field goal. Because there are games where, like, you can look at the Ravens and say, have they been kicking field goals? Or instead of going for two, go into overtime. Give yourself another chance. Going for two, boom. They lost 2 games that way. I remember the Chargers who never not went for it on fourth down, didn't get a single one out of like 6, or maybe they got 1 out of 6 or something like that. And, had they kicked a field goal, they would have won the game too. And I'm just like, why the hell every time?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. As a coach, I mean, kicking is an important part of the game. Special teams is an important part. If you're an offensive coach like Mike McCarthy is, you probably trust your offense more than you trust the kicker. That's probably what it comes down to. But when the playoffs come, though, when these playoffs hit, these decisions matter a lot more. So I think maybe it's also a way of them working those kind of kinks out for the playoffs, man. Maybe.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
We got to, man.
Man, it still does not feel like Cowboys-Eagles tomorrow. It just does not feel like that's tomorrow. It's been a quiet hate week.
It's because they stink. They're not a good football team.
Well,
the division isn't. Well, I mean, it doesn't feel like Cowboys-Eagles only because we've ran through every NFC East team like it was nothing.
All right, how much do you play Dak Prescott tomorrow?
I give him a half. I give him a half.
You give him a half?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're up, like let's say it's like the Washington week where it's 21-0 in the first quarter, and I get his ass out. But I give him a half.
Here's my big worry: have we lost Amari Cooper?
Maybe. I think that's a solid assessment. And I think
listen to this quote here. This is from John Machado. Amari Cooper. I know that if given the opportunity that I can lead the league in all categories. That's just how I feel about my skill set. But if I want to catch 100 balls, I've got to have those targets, and that's not really in my control.
I agree with them, though, because I think the offense runs better when we get in Coop involved.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but my question, though, is Coop kind of like checking out?
I think he's sending a message, in my opinion, because it's the truth. I mean, we're throwing the ball. Like, think about it. Our last game, Dalton Schultz probably got more targets than anybody. I don't know the numbers.
He had more catches. He led the team in catches. Yes, I think he had six or seven.
And I think my man Jay Tuck showed a video early in the game of a crossing route where he was butt naked open and Dak threw the ball to Zeke. But Amari would have gotten at least 20 yards off of it, but he picked the wrong guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on as far as, and you know, I don't feel like we've been getting CeeDee Lamb the ball either.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there is a method to the madness of them saving plays, but I mean, I don't know, man. You got these weapons, man. Use them.
I'm hoping that they do, but Daniel, shout out to it from Kyle, Texas. Go, way to go. Shout out to you on the super chat. I agree with you 100%, but, you know, I'm just sitting there thinking about going to the Mavs game, you know, kind of hearing the stuff that he's kind of rumbling. You know, he's not going to be a TO distraction. That's not in his demeanor. He's more low key and stuff, but him kind of reaching out on that, you know, you may need to try and get him the ball and get it to him early. You know, this may be his version of being Odell Beckham Jr.
I don't know. I just, you know, they tried to say that about him in Oakland, and he came with us, and we've seen nothing but class out of Amari Cooper, no matter how much the media's tried to poke and prod at him. I really think he's a competitive dude that just wants the ball. And he sees that we're struggling offensively, and he knows that he can be a remedy. I do think they have to figure out how to get the ball to our playmakers. I don't think we've been doing that.
Yeah.
For some reason, we've been trying to be too sexy. And maybe getting the ball to Amari is not sexy enough. And that's where he's like, yo, like, what are we doing? We got this, we got that. Why are we not using it? We have cover two beaters.
Well,
we just not doing it.
Well, you don't have Michael Gallup anymore, so that's one, you know, less target that you have over there. You definitely need to do we need to use the pass to help set up the run. And, you know, if we can get a couple of balls down the field and stretch the defense, you know, so they're not able to line up in the box there and challenge us. Well, it's against the Eagles tomorrow. This game's not going to really show us much, but when we go back against the Cardinals, more than likely in another week, next weekend, next weekend is the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
God.
I know.
That's why I'm excited, because we get it out the way, and Sunday we're watching other teams and we figure out who we got.
Vanessa's having a birthday party at Pink's tonight.
Oh, I didn't know Pink's was open on Friday nights.
Okay. Vanessa says it's her birthday.
Open on Sundays after loss.
Okay, have fun at Pink's. Okay. Wilson will take Gallup's spot easy. This is a coaching game. We are loaded on offense. Only problem is there's only one ball. That's right. Philly 500's Dig is a ball hawk. Diggs won't be playing. Vanessa's inviting us to her birthday party at Pink's tonight. I'm good. You know, happy birthday to you. But Paula, what's up, Paula? How you doing? And Vanessa. Okay. Philly 500, how are you feeling? Well, you got anything to add before tomorrow night?
This is what I'll say, because I to piggyback off of the Amari Cooper stuff. When Green Bay is struggling offensively, what do? They get the ball to who? They put the ball in whose hands?
What's his name?
Devontae Adams, right?
Yep.
They find a way. Slants, quick outs. I'm not saying we got to force feed Amari, but I'm just saying don't forget that we have him. I think a lot of the times we take him for granted. I do think that. So
yeah.
And then it also asks, I have this question: Who is getting the ball? Who's getting the targets? Pollard's not getting it a lot. Zeke's not getting it a lot.
Dalton
Gallup's
Schultz
not getting it a lot.
Dalton Schultz did less.
So who's getting it a lot?
Well, maybe Blake Jarwin being back will help the running game some.
How? He can't block either.
He's one of our better blocking tight ends.
That's not saying much then, because he's not
okay.
that great of a blocker.
Okay, if we go back to where we were talking about the heyday of the Dallas Cowboys, shout out to Jet D and Joanne Gonzalez for the Super Chats. He was part of that running attack. Blake Jarwin, he's been missed for like the last 7 weeks or so. And between Tyron Smith going out, Blake Jarwin going out, and the line shifting, running game went to shit.
It also went to shit when Zeke got hurt a little bit too.
And here's the other part of this too. I'm gonna go back to. I remember I'm not gonna say the person's name because when I used to talk about 12 personnel to me, with the players that we have, should be big. And the reason being is basically you can do anything with with Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin there. Okay, you can line up with both of them right there, right? If they put 8 men in the box, fine. Then I'll have them go out in routes. I've got Amari Cooper, I got CeeDee Lamb, I got Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin. So I really got 4 wide receivers. If they don't go 8 men in the box, I got the 2 tight ends there. I've got the 5 offensive linemen. We'll run the ball at you. To me, that you can do anything out of that position, but we haven't had Blake Jarwin there to do that. And again, back when we were running the football real good was when we were doing a lot of those 2 tight end sets.
Where Blake offers you help is vertically in the play action game. So maybe you're on to something as far as I don't think he's that great of a blocker, but the threat of having him, maybe you take a guy out of the box, or maybe you're not as aggressive because he can't hurt you up the seam, down the field. He can hurt you a little bit after the catch. Dalton is not going to hurt you vertically.
I remember we lined up 2 tight end set, Zeke Elliott in the backfield, right? We then shifted Zeke Elliott out wide, empty backfield. Now you actually had 5 wideouts out of a 2 tight end set. If you've got a defense that's coming in because they're thinking you got a heavy package on here and you switch out and go to a 5-man, somebody's going to be open.
Agreed.
Somebody's going to be open. And that, to me, is one of the dynamics that the Cowboys haven't been able to do with Blake Jarwin out.
Well, let me ask you this question. With Michael Gallup going out and Blake Jarwin coming back, do you think that might be a blessing in disguise?
Yes, because, see, and this is where it's funny, because sometimes you get somebody and you think that this is a big plus, and it ends up messing what you were doing. Because the Cowboys got used to not having Michael Gallup, and you saw Blake Jarwin. Okay, now you saw the Cowboys, playing without La'el Collins, right? You think, oh, we got La'el Collins back. He's great. And all of a sudden, the offensive line, it's like, wait a minute. They had consistency there without you. Now you come back, and now you've changed. We've got to redo what we're doing.
Gotcha. Also, Cedric Wilson, too. I mean, you've seen the emergence of him last game and some of the things you could do with him, even double passing and like the reverse looks. And, I mean, you bring up a very valid point, and you swayed me with the Jarwin argument because we talked about it last week. But now that I see where you're coming from, I totally agree, and I think Gallup coming back kind of made us try and be a lot more sexier than we really should be. Mm-hmm. We're a mismatched nightmare. That's what we should be, and I think that the personnel,
with that, and again with that 12 personnel, you can be. If you can go 5 wide outs out of that 12 personnel, or if you can end up just running straight ahead out of that same look, if you're a defensive coordinator, okay, they're in 12 personnel. What are they doing?
Heck, you can even do some of the 20. You can do 22 personnel technically because you got Tony and Zeke on the field at the same time too. Because we don't do that enough, in my opinion.
Right. And
Neither
I
here
think
nor there.
now that it's playoffs, you got to mix this stuff up. You cannot be using just vanilla stuff. And maybe, now that we have Blake Jarwin back, maybe we'll start seeing some of those different things in there. But, in my mind, that was one of those things that I remember because of this YouTuber, because I was like, man, I love 12 personnel. He's like, you old ass, man. I don't want to ever see no 12 personnel. Man, I want to see 4 wide. Why do I want to see 2 tight ends out there, man? Give me all the, and I'm like, dude, I'm
in the playoffs, 12 personnel could be huge because here's the thing. You can't get that, whatever personnel you're stuck with on the field, you got to keep that out there. That's where guys like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady or whatever, you ever see when they catch guys with 12 men on the field all the time? Mm-hmm. It's because then they can get their personnel in and out, and they can play mind games with the defensive coordinators out there. Mm-hmm. So you're on to something with the 12 personnel. So I definitely agree with that, and I like that point.
Dave was asking, who do I want in the first round? I think, we're going to be late in the first round draft, but I need to start getting this offensive line together. We might need to get a tackle. I really do.
I was saying that last year, and I still kind of go. I'm still there. I do think we need to go. There's so many things we could go, but guys, we still got a lot of season left. We still got a lot, and I'm the draft guy. I'm the draft guy.
Anna Varum. What's up, Anna? And we got a lot of hard decisions that we have to make this offseason. So there's like Van Der Esch.
Two guys you named. I think you got to bring back most of the defense because a lot of them on 1-year deals. Like J-Ron.
We have so many guys that are on 1-year deals, and that's where Tyron Smith, $19 million. Lyle Collins, $15 million. That's a D-Law. $27 million.
And post June 1st for him and Tyron could pretty much sign the defense back that you want. Connor Williams is gone, probably more than likely.
Well, we have to re-sign him. This is he's a free agent.
Contract year, yeah. So yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there, big fella. Offensive line.
Well, I think they thought that the Connor McGovern was going to be the answer for Connor Williams, but they found out, nah, he's not the one. DeMarcus Lawrence is. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a $29 million cap hit for D-Law for next year. If he is a pre-June 1st cut, it's $11 million you eat, but you save $18. Amari Cooper is a $22 million hit. Pre-$4 million dead money, 18 in savings.
I don't think you get anything by cutting Zeke either.
No, I think Zeke, you're screwed. Tyron Smith is $17 million cap hit. Pre-cut, it's $8 million dead money, 9 that you'd save. Zeke is $16 million. You'd only save 4.8. Now let's see if it's a post. I'm sorry, that's next year. Shit. I'm looking at 23. Excuse me. 27 for D-Law. Tyron Smith, 17.5. Zeke is 18. So if you cut Zeke pre-June 1st, you get $30 million in dead money. So that ain't happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
If you make him a post-June 1st cut, then you're still paying a salary. So you're not getting rid of Zeke, unless you can trade him. Lyle Collins is a $15 million hit. If you make him a post-June 1st, you save $10 million. Tyron Smith, if you make him a post-June 1st, you save $13.5 million. And D-Law, if you make him a post-June 1st, you save $19 million. So between the three of them,
somebody got to restructure some deals, but the problem with some guys are getting cut in order to.
Do you really want to restructure Tyron Smith again? They just did it again this year. How many? The big fella can't be around too much longer, so you don't want to do that one. And D-Law,
you probably just got to keep him. But D-Law, I think you've seen that you could probably move on.
Yeah,
you probably could, but I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, and we got him right now, so we just got to go and try and win.
And Lyle Collins being $15 million.
But there's some key free agents because Randy Gregory is going to be a free agent.
Right. We have. Oh my God, we have so many. Like you said, half the defense back there is, from Curse, Brent Irving, Carlos Watkins, Randy Gregory. I mean,
Hazy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think Keanu Neal, I think, has one more year on his deal.
No matter what you think, like, put it this way, we're gonna get a lot of comp picks too. So like a guy like Anthony Brown is gonna be a free agent, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think Anthony. Mm-hmm. So somebody he'll start somewhere. Won't be here, but he'll start somewhere. Dalton Schultz is a free agent.
Yeah.
He'll probably start somewhere.
Right. So I mean, we have like 30 free agents or something like that. I mean, we have a lot of guys that could be walking that you want to keep or have to be replaced, and it's not easy just to replace them. I mean, we did good filling in a lot of holes, and this is where you wonder how, Kevin Joseph, Boss Man Fat, Nashawn Wright,
they got to start next year. That's why the Philly game. That's why I'm looking forward to this Philly game, because these guys are going to start next year. These are going to be our guys. Right. Jordan Lewis will probably be back, but
he's under contract for next year. He's a $4.6 million hit, so I don't see him going. Yeah, he's not making a whole lot. So, Keanu Neal is only a $2 million hit, so he'll be back. Tristan Hill is still under contract, so he'll be back. So those are some of the ones that you'll definitely keep. So just have to wait and see where we go with this stuff. So, with that being said, we're kind of into overtime here. Everybody, if you haven't subscribed already to my man DMV, tell everybody where to find you.
You guys can find me at DMV Fanatic. So DMV Fanatic on YouTube. That's also on my Instagram.
Okay.
You can also find me that on Instagram, and I am DMV Fanatic 1 on Twitter. So pretty simple to find me, guys.
All right, and then tomorrow night we'll be live streaming. Well, I guess we'll start out playoffs. 3 o'clock games. 3 o'clock. It's Kansas City, right? Is the early game?
I
want to say it's Kansas City. So. Yeah, I probably will do the Kansas City game. Yeah, Kansas City and Denver, 4:30, and then of course Cowboys at 8:15 Eastern. And we'll be here, see what the Cowboys do. And as always, I appreciate you, my man DMV. Be safe out there. Are you coming over tomorrow?
No, I'm not coming over tomorrow, but I can Zoom if you want to add me.
Okay.
To the Zoom.
All right, we can definitely do that. Okay. All right, then I will catch you on the flip side. DMV, I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Peace. Okay. And everybody else here, let me change cameras. There we go. Okay, and I'm back here. Shout out to my man DMV coming and hanging out with us tonight as we get ready for the Dallas Cowboys to take on the Philadelphia nasty-ass Eagles. And right now, it's time to grab your shot glass so that way we can go ahead and take care of business. You got your shot glasses ready? I got it. I know. I got to update the pictures. It's been a little busy here, but we're going to get this going. Say what, Jet? All right, all you good people, I appreciate you as always, and we will hopefully, God willing, see you guys first thing in the morning. Got to go out here in the cold, and I mean it's cold. It's like in the teens out there, and do the fireside chat because that's the way we roll. But you know, guys, it's time to turn out the lights. This party's over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over.
Shave your beard, Vanessa. What